Yo, what's going on, boys? Welcome back to the Juicecast. Now, UFC 328 just wrapped up, and honestly, I'm dumbfounded. I do not know what I just watched in that main event for this card. Sean Strickland ended up coming away with a decision victory over Khamzat, which definitely is surprising within its own right, but at the same time, there was fans and even me as well saw a possibility to Strickland winning the fight. If you guys remember my breakdown going into this fight, I said Khamzat probably is going to win. Full transparency, I thought he was going to win in the first couple rounds. But the caveat to that is if the fight gets to round 3, I thought it'll be Strickland's fight to lose. And I guess technically it was. He ended up winning the fight by decision. But the way it played out was just so odd, man. But before I get into the actual breakdown of the fight and how odd it actually was, one other thing that I did want to mention quickly is the beef leading up to this fight was fake. Honestly, like, pretty disappointing to see. The beef definitely from the press conference and even from the ceremonials definitely got me and a lot of other fans very excited for this fight. It made this fight feel humongous, but we all were duped, unfortunately, or at least most of us were. I did hear some people saying that this beef probably is fake even before the fight itself, so I guess congrats to those people. You guys called it, but very, very upsetting to see these guys just dap each other up after or before every round, before the fight itself. These guys clearly didn't really have much beef against each other, and kind of annoying, to be honest. But in terms of the fight itself, very, very odd as well. And the reason for why it was odd is round 1 kind of played out the way a lot of people expected. Khamzat went forward, found a takedown, put Strickland in bad situations. Strickland survived, but he definitely lost that round and also got put in really bad situations, as I said. But really, the weirdness started in round 2. As in round 2, Strickland did a really good job at stuffing takedowns, kind of forced Khamzat into a weird takedown. It looked like Khamzat was absolutely gassed in that moment. Strickland ended up getting on top and finished that round on top of Khamzat Chimaev. Very, very interesting the way round 2 played out. And after round 2, you probably would have expected that going forward from there, Strickland will now start to pull away. He'll be able to move forward. He'll be able to utilize his jab, maybe his backhand a little bit as well. Maybe some knees up the middle as well if Khamzat is desperately shooting in for those takedowns. But honestly, that's not what happened. In round 3, I thought Strickland won it, but nonetheless, it was competitive. Khamzat seemed okay in terms of his cardio. He was having a good amount of success on the feet, landing some big jabs, landing some big right hands. And honestly, very, very surprising. Round 4, more of the same for Khamzat, and even a little bit better. He ended up landing more shots going forward, even more, landing good jabs, landing nice right hands. Very, very odd to see Khamzat have that much success on the feet versus Strickland. And in round 5, I thought Strickland won the fight, but even that round was really, really close. So I think the real odd factor to this fight are a couple different things. For one, Strickland's takedown defense looked way better than I thought it was. I thought Strickland did a really good job at not being held down for long periods of time, and I think we saw that in this fight. But also, on top of that, his takedown defense looked really good in a lot of different moments in this fight. In round 5, it looked really good to get back to his feet and more or less win the fight because of that. In round 2, it looked real good, and I believe in round 3 or 4, one of those 2 rounds, Strickland also did a good job at stuffing takedowns as well. So his takedown defense impressed me a lot, but also Khamzat Chimaev impressed me a lot as well. His striking was really impressive, looked a lot better than I otherwise thought it would have been. Yes, he did take a lot of jabs, like a lot of jabs. His defensive striking still isn't great, to say the least, but he had a lot of success with his jabs of his own. He had a lot of success with his right overhand as well, landing pretty cleanly a couple of times. And obviously, everybody knows this. We talk about this all the time. But Strickland is known for his defensive striking. So the fact that Khamzat was able to land that cleanly, that frequently, honestly, was pretty impressive. So the fight itself played out in a way that I thought it could, I guess, but or at least the result was the result that I thought could happen. But the way it played out was just so odd to me. And it's just definitely not something that I thought would happen. I thought the fight overall itself was relatively entertaining. It wasn't the best fight in the world. Obviously, it was kind of a Sean Strickland sort of a fight, which tend to be kind of more slower paced, boring sort of performances. But nonetheless, it was somewhat exciting based upon what was happening in the fight. Strickland was actually winning the fight, and eventually he ended up winning the fight. So I thought it was relatively, entertaining. And in terms of the scorecards itself, the result itself, I actually had Strickland winning the fight. I personally thought Strickland won rounds 2, 3, and 5. I thought 2 and 5 were pretty clear. Round 3, I guess, was a swing round. I know a lot of people thought Khamzat won round 3, but I personally thought it was Strickland. I was fine with the judges' scorecards. It was a split decision. It was an incredibly close fight. It's just not really the result, or at least not really the way I thought this fight would play out. Very, very odd. And it kind of started from right before the fight even started, when these guys clearly proved that their beef between each other was not real. But I guess congratulations to Sean Strickland on a really good performance. I thought he looked good by utilizing those jabs, utilizing occasional right hands, especially in round 5. He got a little bit more busy with those right hands that I think eventually won him that fight. And also, I guess congrats to Khamzat a little bit. His striking looked a lot better than I thought it would be. So yeah, very, very odd fight, but a good one, I thought, overall. I also will say this. The big winner of the night, in my opinion, is DDP. All of a sudden, the middleweight division is wide open. DDP has 2 victories over the current champion at this point in Sean Strickland. Khamzat Chimaev is moving up to light heavyweight. I think it's a guarantee at this point. I think it was a guarantee regardless of the result, but especially after he lost, he's moving up for sure. So Dricus is a big winner. One more win for Dricus. He's getting a title shot. And based upon his last 2 fights against Sean, I do think he has a great chance to win once again. So we may see a Dricus du Plessis as champion once again within the near distant future. So we shall see what happens there. And as for Khamzat, as I said before, I think he moves up to the light heavyweight division. And I guess the real loser of this fight is Carlos Ulberg, most likely. I do think Khamzat probably would beat Carlos Ulberg, but based upon this result, how weird this result was, I don't know. Maybe you never know what's going to happen in that fight. But I would definitely heavily favor Khamzat going into that performance. But I guess we'll see what happens going forward. Very, very odd result. The only thing that I can possibly think of for why Strickland had a lot of success stuffing takedowns and why Khamzat had a lot of success on the feet is because these guys did train together. So I guess they know each other's tendencies a little bit better than other fighters would. And maybe that's a big reason for why they both had success in the other fighters' lanes, I guess. But very, very odd. Very good performance. Sean Strickland even had success on a couple of switches throughout this fight. So great performance, I thought, from Sean Strickland. And as for Khamzat, he'll be fine, obviously. But he is moving up to the light heavyweight division. So that's it. That's kind of my instant reaction to UFC 328. Co-main event also was crazy as well, I do want to mention. But that's my instant reaction to the main event of UFC 328. If you guys have any questions or concerns, be sure to let me know down below in the comment section. But until the next time, peace out, boys.